This is a portal connecting our reality with alternate space-time continua.
Correct.
You know, I'm a 45-year-old space nerd.
Galactic Coast Power Hour.
Them things look hot.
Power Hour.
There is a space age quality to them.
They're all we can afford.
We think right here is the way to go.
You know, free.
Galactic Coast Power Hour.
Welcome to the Galactic Coast Power Hour with John Ennis and Mighty Mike Taylor, the Galactic Guys.
Each and every one of us is a crew member here on Spaceship Earth.
On Vinyl Draft Radio.
That is right. This is the Galactic Coast Power Hour, and we're coming to you live from the ACU of Texas studio on the top floor of the historic Gemini building, just down the street from the home of human spaceflight. My name is John Ennis, and I'm joined by my brother in brew, Mighty Mike Taylor.
Yo, yo.
And our sister in brew, Sylvia Benvenides.
Hello.
But enough about us. Tonight is a real treat, because we're joined by the brewing brains and muscle from the very popular Saloon Door Brewing right down the street in Webster, Texas. So in the studio right now, we've got Joshua Anderson and Alexander Weber from Saloon Door Brewing. Hey guys, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for coming, guys.
And what makes this really cool is I think Sylvia literally kidnapped them from a big event that they have going on at the brewery right now.
Yep.
As they just a few hours ago, they released the newest New England IPA on the market.
Is this what we're tasting right here? Is this
I
it?
believe
Yep.
it is. Yeah.
Yep.
That is what was poured.
And it's the Daisy If You Do.
Days if you do. Yep.
Awesome. And not only is it your first New England IPA and the newest one on the market, but it's also the newest release from the Houston area daisy chain experiment.
Yeah, the release that probably wasn't supposed to happen, but it worked out.
Awesome.
Wait. So the New England IPA is a daisy chain?
Yeah, it is a daisy chain beer. We kind of snuck in there at the very end, and it was coincidental. Like, we didn't think we were going to be a part of it.
Wow.
So-
And then Eighth Wonder.
Yeah,
Just
I mean, we've been
worked it
seeing
out.
it around town. It's been pretty popular.
Yeah, and we
everybody's
wanted-
brewing one.
Okay, so how did you actually get the yeast?
So I wanted to be a part of it earlier, and our schedule didn't allow that to happen.
Schedule-wise
Our
schedule?
brewing schedule. I
Okay,
couldn't fit
okay.
it in when yeast was available. We were going to
Okay.
get yeast from some of the other breweries, and I was talking to Sam from Southern Star, and they were like, "These are the dates I think you could fit it in. Can
Does
it
that
work?"
show up? We're pouring it from the cone.
Well, when
and then
they're
you
when
take your
they're able to
sample?
harvest, and
Right.
I was like, "I'm sorry, man, my schedule." He's like, "I understand." He's like, "Don't worry about it. Next time."
So right now there's millions of listeners going, what the hell are they talking about? Daisy chain.
Yeah, no.
Trillion-
What's
I
it?
think
Should
it's,
we,
I
should
think
we
it's
give-
trillions.
Yeah,
of
trillions.
listeners.
Yeah.
Trillions.
Google,
Quadrillions.
Googleplex. Yeah. So, Sylvie, do you want to give a little, or I can, a little, or actually maybe
Probably
we should,
not.
we should let you all actually give a little kind of overview of the daisy chain and the background behind it.
I'll do my best.
Okay.
I mean, the daisy chain experiment was a really neat thing that we heard about, and it was basically Southern Star wanted to take a pure pitch of yeast, make a beer out of it, and then propagate it throughout every brewery in Houston. Their goal was to hit every brewery in Houston, get everybody to participate. So they make a beer, they harvest the yeast, they give it to somebody else, passing the torch, like they pass the torch for the Olympic, games.
Right.
It's breweries working together. It's breweries. It's what the industry is all about, like
Absolutely.
teamwork.
Brothers and sisters in brewing. Yeah.
And if we could all participate this and make something and be proud of it, it was showing what we can do and what Houston's about.
And it's a really fun experiment in like how much beer you can make with the same one ingredient. Like, it was all the same one pitch of yeast that you just pass around from brewery to brewery to brewery, and it's like, all right, so they're like, just don't do this to ruin it,
Right.
And then like, there's all these different places coming out with all these wild and crazy beers, and they're just
And all different styles.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been
They're
a
all
wide
different.
range.
Well,
yeah.
and some breweries actually took very limited approach. Like they had to. Like you couldn't just do something crazy if you're going to pass it along to another brewery. There's a lot
Right.
of limitations. So they got criticized maybe for their beer. People didn't realize like, oh, they had to do that
There's
beer
science
so they could
behind it.
pass
There
it
were
to the next
rules.
brewery.
Yeah.
So like, why did they do this beer? Well, because they had to pass it along.
No
so
bread
like,
Mices.
right, you couldn't do certain things.
Right.
And I didn't even understand that at first. I was like, oh, wow, this is bigger than just what I want to do. Like, this is teamwork. And so I even talked to Sam. I was like, well, I wish we could have done it. Like, next time we were on the end, so we could do something crazy like a New England, because that's kind of a dead end it's hard to pass that yeast along. So I was like, next time, let's do something that we can pass it to someone else. Like, we'll do something different. And
Yeah.
be
We
a
say
part
So
of it.
why can't you pass it along?
Well,
What's
so
what's
we
the
dry
situation?
hopped it during fermentation, and I asked him, is that a good idea to do that? And it affects viability, and it can also pass
Those
along
oils
flavors
pass
and things. And
into
so
the- yeah,
it's
pass
not
in.
ideal. So he recommended if you're going to do that, probably be a dead end. And if you're not, like if you're going to do a different beer.
It's worth the shot, though, right?
Well, so I wanted to do that. So Backfish did
You
theirs,
could
and I was
have
like, I can't.
harvested before
Yeah.
you dry
We could have.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there were rules. They were loose, but
Yeah.
we wanted to try and be. So, anyways,
Be
we were
nice
lucky
to the brewery
be
that follows you.
We missed our first
Right.
shot, and then Eighth Wonder, like Aaron Corsi came in with Nate, and they came in. They said, "Why didn't you do it?" And we're like, "We didn't have a chance." He's like, "Well, we got the yeast. It came back around full circle. Like, how about we give it to you?" And I asked Sam, I was like, "Can we still do it?" And he's like, "Do it. Go for it, man." And we want to do it next year. And like be a part of that chain, but
Yeah.
we were like kind of at the very end. But it was really fun to be. We were like excited to be a part of it, and so we did something crazy. We decided let's just break all the rules and go all out and do the first New England we've ever done, which I was intimidated by the style to
This
do.
is a beautiful beer.
So who did you look? There's tons of styles out there right now, especially for this particular style. There's so much experimentation left for this. You know, you've got super cloudy, dense, very fruit forward, and then you have the other spectrum where it's very bitter, which I think your beer comes through with a very pleasant bitterness. It's not overpowering. It's very subtle, but it's there. It's an IPA and it makes itself known. So who did you look up to when you were brewing this? Like, what did you most likely want to be
No, it's
like, you know?
great
similar?
question. And I mean, personally, like, I'm very influenced by West Coast. I've always wanted to do the West Coast IPAs. California is a very big an influence. It's part of our story. But so I wanted to try and take that and put it in to the New England to a certain degree to kind of make it stand out. At least see if it could be part of that. So I always wanted to make it more bitter, see if it was even possible. I looked around. I researched this for months. I'll be honest. Like we looked at Weldworks. They were very open about like what they did. So I looked
Hence
up
the brotherhood.
articles.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just whoever was willing to share information. And I mean, for a long time. But a lot of people don't add a bittering addition at 60 minutes. And we said, you know what, we're gonna do that. And I wanted to hit like 70 IBUs. Like I wanted to make it an IBU level that was an IPA, but make it the New England style and see if what does that taste like.
Right.
And we actually sent it off and got an analysis. Like, I mean, we hit 62 IBUs. Does it taste like it though? That's what's really weird. It's more restrained, and I'm not sure if that's water
balanced.
chemistry.
It's very well
but it's
balanced.
nice. You get it though. It coats your tongue. And I've had a lot of these, and I'm like, wow, we did kind of push the envelope. But a lot of people were doing that, and then they don't. There's no wrong way to do this beer.
That's right.
It's art. You just take a shot at it, and if people like it, go for it. And I wanted it to be West Coast influenced. Like I wanted it to be a more bitter version, just to see what that was like, just to see if we could.
So is that a WC NEIPA?
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, the can's empty.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you have a
So's my glass.
You have a Crowler Seamer, I suppose. Right?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, they do.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I've noticed that.
That's pretty awesome.
That's a
So you
Yeah.
do sell
That's a nice
off-site,
addition.
right?
Yes,
You sell for.
Yeah,
that's
we
pretty
do.
awesome.
We do beer to go.
This is like the loophole in the law, right? Or
Well,
y'all
I mean,
can actually sell six. Do y'all distribute beyond the brewery, right?
Well, yeah, we
we
have
do.
a brewpub license, so we can do the crowlers, the beer to go, and then distribute, self-distribute, and we actually have a distributor that pushes outside of what we're able to do efficiently. No.
Yeah, I would argue actually they're probably in more spots than pretty much any local brewery. You know, maybe Galveston Islands. You know,
Nice.
obviously, you know, but I mean, you guys
Trying to
have
get
been-
exposure.
Yeah, you
because
guys
we're in
did
a
it
hard to
pretty
find
hard.
spot, and we want more people to find us.
Right,
And,
right,
and,
the
and so to
location
do that,
there.
you kind of have to light up a beacon. And so we try to think, if we're in more places, maybe people will know we're here.
Yeah,
I don't
and
know.
it's always fun when you're sitting back there and you hear the story about, you know, this person came in from Cyprus, that person came in from Woodlands. Like they're from all over the place. It's like, I just heard about this beer and I had to
Yep.
come down and try it. It's
People
like,
drive
wow.
for great beer, y'all. I
But,
mean, that's what
like,
it is.
We're known for one beer, and that's tasty.
Yeah, that's the one that gets everywhere.
If you don't dig that beer, you
Yum.
may not look for us, and that's the downside of it. It's like we make a lot of different beers, so it's really cool to be on the show to show that hey, we can do different things.
How
Come
many
check us out.
different styles do you think you brewed
So my
since you
doc.
opened?
Okay, well, you go ahead, sir.
So we have 22 unique taps on our wall, and I think among those, through our rotations, we've made somewhere around 40 different unique beers.
Yeah, and I mean, some people really enjoy others, and some of them have fallen off. I don't know.
The power of blending beers and
when you go into blending,
great-
it just gets up there. Like you.
So what's the background on the blending of beers? Because that's pretty unique. I don't think there's very many Houston area breweries that are taking that side of things and saying, hey, what happens if I mix this with this?
Yeah, that was actually kind of a homebrew accident at your place, wasn't it?
Yeah, Sylvia brings up a good point.
Blending is a technique recognized by Reinheitsgebot.
No, and blending is going on.
It is recognized by that. It is fine. You can blend beers. It is legal.
I've heard some areas of the country are embracing it and have been, and I don't know. Like, honestly, as a home brewer, it was an accident. I was brewing concept beers before this even got started. I had a cream ale, vanilla cream ale, that my brother-in-law was like, you got to have this at our brewery. So I made it. And then I decided I wanted to do a citrus wheat, orange citrus wheat. And I just, one day at a party, when people were over, just trying some concept beers, I just mixed the two together. I was like, as a child, a dreamsicle was one of my favorite things, orange creamsicles. Like, what if I could make a beer taste like that? And I was like, nah, and I just did a 50-50 blend, and I tried. I was like, holy, my gosh, this is what I remember. And so I tried. I made a few for some people at the party, and they were like, what is this? I was like, it's a blend. And so we tried it at the brewery just to see. We didn't think it would be a hit. We were like, this is gonna nuts. That's gonna be a joke, right? But people started asking for it, like that secret menu, like the In-N-Out secret menu, and all these other like Torchy's has a secret menu. They're like, I want that blend. We're like, we didn't even talk about that. Like, how'd you hear about that? And so then my sister was like, there's something here. And so like, I like to think is we're the artists making the base beers and maybe some of the interesting beers, but then she takes all the beers we make, like maybe we're making the paints and she's blending them together into like different pictures. And so she created like 20 or 30 different concepts. They weren't all good, but all of a sudden it became a thing. And you do what the people want. And so if you have a good reaction and a response, you just keep going. I mean, every brewery does that.
Yep.
And so we just kept going. We didn't plan it.
You've got to find your separating factor too. If they present themselves,
I mean, it was serendipity at its best.
Yeah.
Like,
Serendipity.
Whoops.
And they're actually they're popular enough that we have two full menus at our brewery. We have on one wall is all of our beer, and then on the other wall is all the blends.
Some people only drink the blends. I don't even understand that. They've never had one of our beers. They had blends of our beers. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
It's a separate demographic, It's folks that really like those pastry stouts, that very dessert style beer. It's like, hey, I've had a good meal and I want a beer and I want it to taste like dessert.
Yeah.
That's what Saloon Door is.
Yeah, you want something fruity, you want something chocolatey, you want something peanut butter.
There's a lot of people out there like that, yeah.
Empty glasses.
Empty glasses, okay.
So going back to your top beer, the Tasty AF. My daughter asked me, I guess always fun.
And fun.
Yeah,
and fun.
Tasty and fun.
Okay.
Oh my God!
Like this one we're about to open. So
and
that's ridiculous and fun.
Yeah,
that's ours.
Oh
that's Tasty's big brother.
Yeah, Tasty's big brother.
Peanut butter chocolate, Russian Imperial.
I've never had this.
Yes.
So
I'm excited.
I mean, we had to step it up, right? You can't just stop at Tasty.
Y'all had that
So
at Lunar Rendezvous, correct?
We did.
Yeah, that was the one. Yeah.
That is so good.
So how would you describe this
That
beer
is
to the
so
folks
good.
that are listening in but can't be here to taste the beer? How would you best describe it?
So it is Russian Imperial Stout, which means it is big, it is dark, it's got a lot of that black malt character, those chocolates, those roasts, but it's loaded with peanut butter and chocolate. So like if you've ever had a Reese's, but then like
who hasn't had a
multiply
Reese's?
it. like it just, you take it up to the next level. It's not like a full milk chocolate like it is in the Tasty. It's a bigger, richer, dark chocolate, and then just in your face peanut butter to match it. And on a Russian, it works so well. And then actually for our anniversary party, we did a little bit of barrel aging, we made the ridiculousest big brother, which is the ludicrous.
So if we get a barrel aged program, we're gonna make more of that.
Spaceballs, ridiculous speed, and then ludicrous speed.
Yeah, we went plaid. We went full plaid.
If we ever can the ludicrous,
It smells
be plaid. It'll be in plaid wrapped.
We can't stop. We have to slow down first. We're going too fast.
You can smell graham cracker on that nose, though.
Man, I'm getting excited.
Graham cracker on the nose.
No, I get that too. You're right. There's peanut butter. There's graham cracker. It's actually amazing the different experiences that beer drinkers get from beer. And honestly,
real,
like
right?
when I see a review, a constructive criticism, whatever you want to call it, when I see somebody explain their experience about beer, Like I take it for what it's worth, but at the same time, I like to think of it as like a movie. Try it for yourself, because I've seen movie criticisms. I've seen critics talk about things, but your personal experience is going to be what it is. Like just
This is
check it out.
complete fudge.
Well, also
this might give me diabetes.
This was always my feeling.
It's so good.
People can say what they want to about your beer as long as you feel it in your heart and you put it out there for them. Then that's
Alcoholic
it.
fudge.
Oh yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Like if you could make fudge taste like alcohol.
You
that's
get a
what
brownie.
we did. And there's a little bit
Yes.
of
You put it in the
That's what it is.
microwave.
Oh,
You melt
this is
it,
brutal.
and it's this
And
beer.
it's over 10%?
Yeah.
It's 12.
it's 12.
Yeah. Well, when it put in a barrel, it was like 13. But
Yeah.
Basically, you guys have a money printing press over there.
I hope
Almost.
so.
Man,
I hope you're right.
I think
So where did you get your barrels from?
Garrison Brother.
So we got so
Yeah.
Val
Great.
got us out in a pinch. I did not plan very well. And I was trying to get barrels and I couldn't. And I called up Val at Valencin's and
Yeah.
like
He-
the good
he
guy
had
that
the-
he is, and they
he
were
had the
other
hookup
brother
on
brewery.
barrels,
He's
and
like,
he had
dude,
an
I
extra
got a
one for
couple.
us.
Come over.
Yeah.
And I gave him some hops, and he gave me some
Val's
barrels.
good like that.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
good
Oh,
exchange.
One of my
He's a good
favorite
dude.
people in the world. I went over to his one year and had one of the best Russian Imperials I've ever had in my life.
Yes, a second.
We-
Top notch. 5 years and that. I mean, 5 months. Five years.
months.
5 months. But we did the same Russian, and I told him to his face, like, yeah, yours is better, because it was fantastic. But I'm not afraid to admit that. Like, and we made a good one, but he was more patient, and sometimes brewing is all about that.
Patience with an
But
RRS.
he got me some barrels at the last minute. Thank goodness for that. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had any.
It's
Yeah.
a beautiful beer.
But
Thank
this
you.
is just the regular one. I liked it on the barrel too. It was nice. We'll do it again.
Yeah, well, for anyone that doesn't want that, that alcohol coming through
Yeah.
really on their taste, this is a perfect beer.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
It does work.
And it is hot outside, and we're still drinking 12% stouts,
That's
right?
kind of what I was
Air
thinking.
conditioning.
That's what I was thinking. It was like,
You can drink
I
stouts in
still
any
drink
weather.
this.
That's
I
right.
worked in the sun all day. I'm drinking a Russian Imperial Stout.
Right?
But it's a
No.
strawberry. Maybe that could be a thing, right?
Could
Oh
be.
yeah. We make a strawberry milk stout.
Yeah, that's hit or miss.
Right.
It's good in blends though.
Yeah.
So that's why it's still around. I've had people say they love it.
So you prefer the stouts then, no?
No,
Brewing them?
I'm
So
an
what do you
IPA
prefer?
person.
Okay.
I'm an IPA guy. I like West Coast and I like New England's. I'm not gonna lie, they're great. Like I'm a hot person. I'm a hot
Favorite West Coast IPA?
God, that's tough.
That is.
I don't
loaded.
even. You know what? Honestly, like it's. I've always really enjoyed Pliny. I'm not gonna lie. Like I cloned it.
Well,
home.
you will be excited because I'm actually doing a
I know,
West
that
Coast
sounds like a cliche.
IPA
I love
blind tasting here pretty soon. And if anyone's listening, I'm looking for team members to be on my panel. And the code word is Rick and Morty Socks. It's actually multiple words, but Rick and Morty Socks. Send me a message on Facebook or Instagram, and we're building our team for this panel. If you can guess the famous West Coast IPAs, I would love to have you on the show.
Boom, there it is.
Alex has a favorite IPA.
Oh, yeah, no,
I
my,
like it. It's a good one.
Yeah, the very first IPA that I fell in love with, and it's my hallmark that I judge all IPAs by.
Cool.
It's not the best one I've ever had,
Fantastic.
but it's my hallmark, and it's the Odell Elephant. Like I love the Odell Elephant.
Good one.
It's
Nothing
excellent.
wrong with the elephant.
Yeah.
So I never tried it until you told me about it. I was like, this
Nothing
is
wrong with it.
amazing.
Yeah.
Is that a year-round?
It's
Yeah.
all the time.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
So what do you like about it? Why that one over any other IPA?
I had all the Sierra Nevadas and stuff, and those were good, but when I had the Elephant, man, it hit all the notes that I wanted in an IPA, and it hits them. It's crisp, sharp, consistent. It's the medium high bitterness. It's not 100, but it's not 50.
A well-balanced beer. A well-balanced beer.
It's an excellent level, and the hop selection is good. It's that great classic American pine and resin and all that stuff. That is my flavor that I go for.
Yep.
Nice.
I don't know. What's your favorite, Mike? What do you like in West Coast?
Clown cheese. Space cake.
That's a good one. See, there's so many.
That is a good
Space
one.
cake. Actually, the TBR Catalyst is pretty close to the double IPAs that you can get locally and whatnot. But
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, Houston
And
area,
that's
we've got a
getting
ton of
locally.
great
If you
IPAs.
start going into where you can get what, I mean, it's going to change.
Oh, yeah.
For real.
Oh, that's the beauty of it, though. Like Houston has its own like culture of beer.
Sure.
It's different.
Art Car is when I go to the store and I see a double.
Oh yeah, Art Car's fantastic.
Yeah.
The,
Art Car is awesome.
The brash West Coast, man, those guys know what to do.
Yeah, they do. They do.
good-
She brought.
Not a collab.
Not a collab.
Not a
with-
collab.
and
I
that
really
was-
enjoyed that beer. It was
John
really
brought
good.
it too, so we still have probably like 4 more.
Actually, we're down to one, and that one has. I'm gonna shotgun that one. I've been holding.
It's one of the more intense like St. Arnold's IPAs ever had. Like it really punches you with the hops. It's like wow, they can do that. They just haven't yet.
They can do whatever they
can do
want,
whatever
man.
they want.
They can do whatever they
and
want,
they just
dude.
have been
Tip
waiting.
of the spear.
You gotta love that.
Endeavor.
I mean,
we
close
dig
to
the Endeavor.
Endeavor's
one of my
nice.
I just
favorite
love how they're like,
IPAs.
hey guys, by the way, we can do this. All right.
You
It
know,
was
I mean, they've wished everybody luck, and they've just continued to open doors and
Oh yeah.
continue to grow. And as a city of Houston needs a regional brewer, and that's who we have now. We have St. Arnold's and of course Karbach that went to InBev.
They went
and-
corporate.
Yeah, so.
It's a good.
Damn it! I like Love Street, man. I can't.
They were still making good beer. I'm just hesitant about what the future is going to
I
bring.
mean, I pretty much because of InBev is they're trying to do some bad stuff, and I'm not a big fan of InBev, and I don't think they're going to take us down as we're a little radio show, but I'm not a big fan of what they're doing to craft beer and trying to squeeze people out. So
they are.
I
they're
am
a
going to
hostile
shy
actor
away
in the market.
from Karbach. I am just naturally.
Sorry, you got
I'm
like
gonna
40 or 50 other choices.
Yeah,
so
right.
you
Well,
don't have to worry
the
about it.
problem was Eric Warner, when he came to town, he was one of my heroes, man. Flying Dog to us was one of our heroes that proved that
Man,
it
he's
could be
opened
done.
breweries. He opened breweries in
man.
Germany. I mean, he's
That's
right.
consulting on breweries, opening up all over the.
He's a businessman.
The dude wrote the book on Kolsch, and they didn't release one for like 3 years.
But how many breweries does St. Arnold's open?
St. Arnold's opened a few.
Eureka, right? I mean,
Oh yeah, we talked about that
You
earlier.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
the
that's
St.
right.
Arnold
But
tree.
that's what breweries do. It's
Yeah,
like it's like
exactly.
they just
Yeah.
propagate, just like yeast.
Yeah, they just sold out. I don't know.
You can't help it, man.
It's a daisy chain.
But it's okay because right now it's the best time to be a beer drinker.
True.
Like,
Oh yeah.
like think about
There's
it.
so
Think
much
about
good
it.
beer
Think
out
about,
there,
like,
and it's
think
only
about
getting
6
better.
years ago in Houston.
Oh my gosh.
Man, I'd be happy if I could.
It was good.
Bud Light, Coors
but
Light.
it wasn't this good.
That's right.
I mean, there was a time where
it's a buffet.
I'd be happy to get Shiner or Heineken on draft.
I don't even-
Then excited to get like St. Arnold's Amber on draft.
Yep, Love Street.
And now it's like wow,
I feel bad for people that are trying to come into Texas
right?
because Texas beer is so good. I don't even want to buy anything but Texas beer.
Truth.
Thank
Ridiculous
you.
Appreciate it, man.
AF. Always fun.
So you have a version of this in bourbon barrels as well.
Well,
We
did.
did. We had a very limited supply for the anniversary, and
Sold
it is
out.
all gone.
Sold out.
We don't have a barrel aged
That's
program,
awesome.
so it's one of those like, oh, we'll do it for the anniversary because
Yeah.
it's a real pain in the butt to do it at our brewery because we're not set up for that. But I wish we were.
Okay, so
Location 2.
let's talk about the origin myth here. I mean, we've had an explosion of breweries in the last 6 years here in the Houston Metroplex area, including Galveston and all the way almost up to South Dallas, which is Spring. Conroe. I mean, Conroe started it just after St. Arnold.
Yeah,
But
East,
before then, it was like 3 breweries, including Anheuser-Busch.
We have No Label in East San Antonio.
Right.
Yeah.
So where do we
come
start?
from?
Where
I
does it
know.
start? Where's it start?
And I don't even believe it. And I'll be honest, like, this whole thing was not supposed to happen as far as my brain's concerned because.
So you're a home brewer, right?
I'm a home brewer. I've been
When
home
did
brewer.
you start home brewing?
It was 2006.
2006, you
something
become
like that.
a home brewer.
Like 2005, 2006. I've been doing it for 10
what
years.
caused you to be a home brewer?
My wife bought the kit.
Man, that's
for
what happened
Christmas.
to me.
And she
dude.
said,
Actually, she bought me
you
for
need a
Christmas."
hobby. And I was like, okay.
And I like beer.
And she's like, and I know you like to do this because I watched a buddy of mine that was from college. I saw him do it, and she was taking notes. And she's like, he was enjoying that. I liked his beer, and she bought the kit that very same year, and I made my first batch, and I was
Now,
hooked.
were y'all living here locally?
We were in Corpus Christi.
Okay, Corpus Christi,
at the
okay.
time, and so I was a chemical engineer, and she was too. We met. We were engaged. She bought me the kit. and the rest is history. I was hooked. So I became a member of the club in Corpus. I became a barrier masternaut when we moved here.
When did you move here?
It was 2011.
2011.
Yeah,
You moved to the Clear Lake area where you had lived in Corpus your whole life.
Like 9 years. But I grew up on the island, Galveston.
Oh, Galveston.
Yeah,
Okay.
grew up on the island. Went to A&M. Went to Corpus to get the job as a CAME.
Hey man, I got this great Aggie.
That's okay. But so the hobby became a lifestyle. You know, I got all this extra money. I'm an idiot. I'm just gonna spend it. I'm gonna make it crazy. And then I always talked about, oh, wouldn't it be cool to be a brewer? Like every home brewer that loves homebrewing wants to do it for real.
Absolutely.
Wants to go pro. Why wouldn't you? So you either compete or you decide you're gonna go pro, or you do both. Like I never competed, but I always joked about being pro, but I never wanted to run a business. So my brother-in-law, he's in California. He chased after my sister. She's getting her degree. I'm trying to shorten this up as much as possible, but he was right next to a brewery, Mother Earth Brewing. Like he watched him start off. He had a batting cage. He was a coach, and he saw them grow in 5 years to an amazingly successful brewery. And he was like, I want to do this when I go to Texas. Well, he got to know the owners. He told me he wanted to do this. I thought he was crazy. I was like, I'm never gonna start a business. But he flew me in there, and I got to see them do their work. I got to ask questions. They were open arms. I got to see the industry for what it is. I was like, I want this. Like, this is great.
So did you get to pick the system that you wanted?
I did. I got to design it and spec it out, but we had a budget.
Who made it?
So I didn't get to do what I really wanted to do. I wanted a Premiere. I wanted a Premiere. That's what they had.
Premiere stainless?
But that was like 3 times what I could afford. So I got this cheap Chinese system from some guy that left us after he installed it. And I'm not even going to tell you who he is because I would not recommend him to anyone, but somehow it brews beer. Anyways.
All you gotta have is the machinery because you'll have the know-how.
Somehow we made it, but what really got me over the hump was another commercial brewer that opened his arms and said, hey, I'm going to teach you everything I know. I'm an open book. I want you to make good beer because if you make good beer, it's good for the whole industry. It is. And he said, I truly believe that. And he literally allowed us to hire him in to fly in and start us up on our system.
From California.
California.
We had
a meager pay rate. Like what he's like, this is what I would want. And I was like, well, this is what we can afford. I'm not even going to talk numbers. He's like, I'll do it.
Yeah. We had him for 4 days.
Oh my God. 12 hours, 16 hours. And he cracked the whip on us.
Nice.
Trained Alex and I on the system. We started up, we hired professional help for, I didn't even want to go there. He was willing to do it. And that's, when he said he would do that, that's what got me to sign a lease. That's what got me to sign a loan. That's what got me to get on board. And we bought all the equipment. We got it in, and we got it installed somehow. He over the phone helped me get it all ready. He's like, you need to have all this equipment clean because we're brewing when I show up.
Hell yeah.
And I did it all wrong, and he was laughing at me when he flew in. He's like, let me show you how to clean a tank. And it took me 7 hours to do it, and he showed me how to do it in 2. I was like, oh. So my point is, as a home brewer, I didn't know what I was doing. Commercial experience is everything. To me, it really made a difference. And if I could say anything to anybody that wanted to do this, if you have access to that, which we were very blessed to have, take it. Anybody that's willing to help, because it helped me so much. But got us over the hump, got us started up, first couple batches, and then the rest is history.
How big is your system?
We have a 10 barrel. 10 barrel. Which isn't all that big. I always call it a glorified gas-fired home brewing system.
No, 10 barrels is respectable.
It's pretty decent.
The
reason why it was 10 was because I didn't want a boiler. And that's as high as you can go.
Yeah, that is.
You go 15, you're talking boiler.
So
I was terrified.
It's still
of
a
that.
gas system.
It's a gas fire.
It is a direct fire, yes.
Direct fire. And I didn't want a boiler. I was scared of that because we didn't have room for it. But, but funny thing.
What's your production monthly, barrels?
We were like 500, and now we're approaching 1,000.
No, not a month.
Barrels. No, a year. Sorry.
All right, so 500.
I always think annual.
500 a year.
Yeah, our first year was about 500. Our second year was about 1,000. We're doing about 8 batches a month.
We're about 1,000.
There you go.
We're close to 1,000, and that's kind of a ceiling.
75, 80 barrels a month?
Yeah.
There you go.
That's
Sorry.
Very
it's not too bad.
Yeah, man.
Does that include the collaborations that you guys have done? Because I know I've seen some folks like Channing from Nobi Public House have come in and done a collaboration with you guys.
Yeah.
Does that include that number?
Yeah, we find holes in the schedule where it's like, all right, so we have a free beer here we can brew. What are we gonna make?
It's getting harder.
We can make
and
this
harder
one.
to do that.
Ooh.
It's getting harder and harder to do that. So the whole tasty though, like where did that come from? Because that was not the original plan. We did not say, hey, we're gonna make a chocolate peanut butter beer and this can be our flagship. Like that wasn't it. But I do remember that Mother Earth had a beer called Syntax. It was a peanut butter Russian Imperial. I really enjoyed it. I was like, how did y'all do that? And they're like, well, it's like we did it this way. And I was like, I want to do something similar but different. I got in my head that I was going to make a peanut butter milk stout. And I thought it was an original idea. And well, who comes up with original ideas anymore? There's
no
7
such thing as
billion people on the
original idea.
planet.
Right.
You thought of it, someone's already done it. Well, go figure. I show up in a bar in San Diego and I see that Belching Beaver
Yeah, peanut
had
butter.
a peanut butter milk stout. And I'm like, well, it can't be good. But it was on Nitro.
It's
and
fantastic.
It was amazing.
It's one of the
So
best
one of
ones out
beers
there.
I've ever had. And so when I ordered it, I was like, God dang it, they did it better than I can imagine. Well, I'm still gonna do it, but I'll add chocolate, and it'll be mine. And you think you come up with a new idea, but you don't. But you still do it anyway. And honestly, like I think peanut butter chocolate beers are showing up all over Texas now, so it doesn't matter. But I like to think that we were one of the first ones.
It was new to
I
Houston.
think you
Threw
guys
it
are.
out there.
Yep.
And the nitro thing was accidental. We ended up with high pressure brights. I didn't order them. They just were that way. So to nitrogenate a whole batch, you kind of have to have a bright tank that's good for like 40 or 50 pounds. And we just so happened to have that. And the guy we hired was like, you got high pressure brights. So it was kind of like meant to be. He was like, you could nitrogenate your whole batch of beer. So we did it, and then it blew up.
Yep.
And I was like, if we didn't have high
loves
pressure
the
brights, we
tasty.
would not have tasty everywhere in the world. But we do, because nitrogenating keg by keg is not fun. But if you can do the whole batch, which is what we do, because we have high pressure brights, which most people don't think about, and we got it by accident. I was like, go figure.
How many nitro taps do you have on your tap wall?
We have 4 taps on our tap wall.
Okay,
that are nitro.
that's pretty
Not too
good. That's
bad,
pretty
yeah.
impressive.
I had
for,
one in
you
my
know.
kegerator, and that's why I was like, I love nitro beer. And it's funny thing is, my wife was like, you want a kegerator for your hobby? I was like, yeah, I'll give you a nitro tap. She's like, okay, you can have a kegerator.
And I think back in the day, I remember running into Jason out in the field at new venues that were opening up and installing the nitro, helping them install their nitro system as a result of the tasty.
Yeah.
You know what? There's not many people competing for nitro taps.
Right.
No.
So we just like,
Well, in some ways,
Went out there and-
you're also having to help the venues create. I mean, a lot of venues
or
they want it,
add
but
a
they don't
second
have
one.
it. Yeah.
And we're putting them in.
Yeah, you're actually assisting them. They're
We're building their first or second nitro
Right,
tap
exactly.
just so they can put tasty
Right.
on.
Tasty was
No,
supposed to be a
witnessed that,
novelty.
yeah.
It was supposed to be a novelty beer that get people to our tap room, and we put it out in the public, and they said we want it.
We
And
like
it's
it.
It
so-
won Houston.
the bracket, right? The 64
Yep.
beer bracket challenge. On
Yes.
the Houston Beer News.
Beer Guide.
Beer Guide. Yeah.
That wasn't planned. You go into brewing.
We can't plan that.
And you end up making what the people want.
Yeah.
You just do it. You do something people like, and you just keep going.
No, we didn't even actually hear that we had won the first round
didn't
until after we
even-
won the first round.
Right.
I was like, there's no way we're gonna get past Brash, and I was like, what? So I mean, you just keep doing what people want.
I was absolutely floored by
Totally
the
different than the
response.
hobby.
that
Can
we
you
got.
nitro an IPA? Since we're talking about what we want, I want to take the
Okay.
mouthfeel
No,
of a
so-
nitro beer and put it in an IPA,
No,
and that's what I want.
I love that idea. I love that idea.
I'm gonna disagree with that one because
No.
I've had those nitro hoppy beers. They're wrong. They're all wrong.
But she's looking for the mouthfeel. So
I am.
What Sylvia wants
Guinness
is
has a
the
nitro
I want a
idea.
blend of
She wants
oxygen and nitrogen
mouthfeel
somehow.
of a nitro in New England
That's it.
without losing
without
the
the-
character of the hops.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
exactly
And
what I want.
I love that idea, and
See?
there's got to be a way to do
A man that
I'm-
listens.
I'm just coming at it from the West Coast
She's
side.
like,
I like my.
if you
I was sharp.
nitrogenate an IPA, you
would
lose
like-
hop character. She's like, give me the
I would
mouthfeel.
like to interject and tell you that, like the Boddingtons, they have the nitrogen capsules.
That's
just
right.
like the
Yeah.
Guinness.
Oh, yeah.
If you were to put that in, it only releases as soon as you open the can.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
Good idea.
that way you're not destroying your hop character.
you know
Yeah.
what? That could be the thing. I know very little. I'm learning every day.
So what's new for Saloon Door? I mean, what's the next phase? So we're crossing this hump on the New England style. What's next?
Well,
I mean-
we just mentioned canning. Mike brought up canning, and I was looking at an email I sent to I think it was Jason, a while back, and he mentioned at some point, maybe by the end of the year, canning might be in the future?
Yeah, we're looking to do that.
Six-packs.
It's a challenge.
Six
so
packs and smaller.
Or probably the big. Well, heck, I mean, really, y'all already
you already
got the crowler.
Well, we do
have the
crowlers.
crowler.
So, like, I feel like there's a break point for the volume and the size of a brewery where canning outside of the brewery makes sense.
Right.
And I feel like,
canning
you
units.
got to be like 20, 30, 40 barrel brew house.
We're probably not going to be
to
in the
have
HEBs.
cans in
Right.
in the market, like in the HEBs and stores.
Retail,
But,
yeah.
like, if you're going to be like 10, 15 barrels and canning, you got to almost sell like 80%, 70% on site.
Yeah,
because you're
sure.
just so small, the margin doesn't work.
But-
so if we're going to can, we'll probably do it mobile and we'll probably sell on site until we can get to a bigger brew house.
Yeah. And
but we would love to can.
It does
and
look
get
like
it in stores.
it does look like we can.
We can.
Like we can do like 4 and
We
6
can
packs.
can.
We can.
We can do like 4 and 6 packs of some special beers. Like, you got to come into the brewery to buy it, but we're gonna have it. And so instead of having to take home a 32-ounce crawler that you got to drink all at once because you opened it, like we'll have some smaller options that you can buy.
Here's an idea. Maybe you do it like online, maybe via Eventbrite. Have people pay like days in advance.
There you go.
Sell out in a couple seconds, and they
Who's
travel,
done that before?
Travel across town to the brewery to pick it up
Man,
days after they pay for it.
No one's ever done that
Right.
before.
That's a good. I love that people are testing that market for us.
Man, that's crazy. I
and
mean,
they're paving the way.
My hat's off to them. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, Spindle Tap. I mean,
I'll tell you what.
No, that's
That's
an
loud.
excellent way to
hats
make
off
beer.
is right
Yeah.
because who else
Damn,
is doing
right?
that?
Yeah.
Nobody.
No one.
what about the name? Is there, and actually, there was originally maybe even a different name, right?
Yeah, there was. And I'll, if I can branch off to that too, but I'll start with that. We were originally thinking we would be called Southern Draw, and we threw that out there, and we actually were told that it was flagged by the trademark company that we were too close to another beer named Southern Drawl. And it was funny. We thought we were married to that name. We're like, this is the best name ever. And we're like, we should change this before we get sued, because we were told by the other brewery that if we ever get in Texas, we're gonna make you change that name. You don't want that. We weren't even open yet, so we said let's change the name.
So it's all about the L.
So
huh?
one of my partners, his sister was like, SDB, Southern Saloon Door, and we were like, at first I hated it, and then I was like, I started to like it, and I was all of a sudden like, just do it. Who cares? It's just a name. Now I'm like so glad because I think it's so much better.
Yeah, Saloon Door was definitely a better name.
So I feel like sometimes as you think you are gonna go on a certain path, and fate says, nope, you made the wrong decision. This is what you should have done. I really feel like that somebody's been guiding me all along. I'll give another good example. I thought I could do this by myself initially, and then I saw as I trained, I saw how much it took to do what
You're not
it takes to
Superman,
run a brewery. No, and everybody thought I could do it. Like,
What's
Josh has got this.
what's your team size? How many people you have in your team?
It's just the two of us and the brewery.
No, you have your
No,
business,
just the brewery, but there's a lot more than that.
right? So
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
your
there's there's
core team?
Like 12 to 14. But
That's
the
a-
brewery side
that's a
only.
good-
Just like,
that's a
I
good-
was in charge
that's
of
a
the
good
brewery. I
core
was like,
team.
I can do this.
You can't, but no, you can't.
So
you
you
can't
guys-
isolate
but
that.
you
You
know
can't
that.
isolate that. You cannot isolate that into the only fathom of the, because there's so many facets that happen
true.
in that deal. You
Well,
can't say
he
that.
was never originally the only person in it. Like it was.
There's
it
no
was
way.
A,
You
it was a
cannot
four-man
do
starting
it.
There's a
team.
You
four-man starting team,
cannot
but
do
I
it.
was the
Yeah.
brewery
Four-man starting
guy.
team, right?
No, he was.
Even
Alex
with
wasn't there.
4 men, that is too much work. 4 men
I
is too much
agree.
work.
So, but I thought, like, I'll quit my job, I'll go full time, and I can do all of it because I was a home brewer and I did all of it, right?
No, you can't.
I was stupid. And then when I realized, like, I saw what the other commercial breweries are doing, and I'm like, I can't do this. And I had the deer in the headlights look. And Austin Weber, one of my partners, was like, Josh is freaking out. I need to fix this. And so he told me, he's like, my cousin, I've been talking to him. I think he can help. And that's Alex. And he's like, so Alex wasn't, I mean, he just showed up. He was just like, give him a shot. And
here he is.
then, I don't know, I just want to let Alex say what
And
you
he's
were in
single,
between
I've
jobs.
heard.
Oh yeah, apparently he's single.
Yep. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I was.
Look into that camera.
Okay, you know,
Yeah.
Single.
Yeah. So
this
I was.
guy is available. Okay, right now. Okay, let's cut through the sweet, as they say, with a cookie and a bowl of ice cream. Let's cut the sweet and let's get on to some less intense, but more intense. we're going to put you guys to the test. We're
Okay.
going to bring
So,
we're going to bring the seriousness to a whole new level, and we expect you guys to ace this test that we put together on westerns or actors. Or you can so
we're gonna play What's That Western? And of course,
What's That
this is all based on the fact that Saloon Door and even
Saloon
the
Door.
Southern Draw name. I mean, so obviously kind of have a Western theme to it, right? I
Yeah.
mean, that's
Okay,
that's
so
kind of your thing, right?
There's always
we will
the same
accept
motif.
TV show or movie.
Okay.
We will accept character name and actor name.
Okay.
Okay, so we have
All right,
Good luck.
number one. And Mike Taylor put this together, so if you have problems with the
Right,
resolution
yep,
of the images, do not complain to me. Actor, character, or
movie.
motion picture,
TV show.
Is it Tombstone? That's the only one I know.
It's-
Wyatt Earp.
Apparently, not.
Doc Holliday.
They look like Doc Holliday, but me from Tombstone. Val Kilmer.
All right, Mike Taylor.
It's Alan Rickman from Quigley Down Under.
That is Alan Rickman.
Right,
that
rest in peace.
There was a
Rest
movie
in-
with Tom Selleck where he had went down
in peace,
to
Alan
Australia and had a long-range rifle, and this cat wanted it because he wanted Tom Selleck to kill his rival at a very long distance and the Aborigines.
Wow.
Favorite Alan Rickman movie? Anybody?
No, it's
No, not
mine.
this. I mean, what?
Oh,
You know, I mean,
Die Hard,
Die
coming
Hard.
off the building as he's
Die
falling
Hard,
to his
yeah,
death.
I think Die Hard.
Dogma?
Dogma, yeah. He was in he was in that one movie about the music club in New York, the GC. Was it the DC?
Holy shit!
You
You're
remember
right.
that one? You remember,
Oh my
what's that?
god!
I don't remember what the club's called. Anyway,
He was
Where
in
the-
that one series of movies about a magical kid or something.
right?
Yeah.
Right. And then he was in that one that British holiday.
Harry Potter.
All right, number two.
It looks like one of the Stooges to me. I don't know.
I'm thinking Gilligan's Island.
That's okay. That's Haas. That's Haas from Gunsmoke.
Haas from Gunsmoke.
Haas from
All right.
Gunsmoke.
I'm sorry, Bonanza, not
Bonanza.
Gunsmoke.
Bonanza. All right.
He was the youngest. He was the youngest brother of, I think it was like 3 or 4 brothers. Lauren Green was the father on the show.
So
All
we're
right,
telling
where they
us
would-
we have no idea what we walked into.
You don't.
Right. We're gonna move through this a little quicker. Now I had a plan B because you've got a you're not from Kansas, right? But you've got a connection to Kansas.
I married a Jayhawk.
Or married a Jayhawk. So I was
Alright,
gonna quiz you on famous Jayhawk basketball players.
boy.
I was gonna quiz you on famous
Don't do
Alexanders.
that.
But yeah, okay. So maybe this wouldn't have been any. This probably actually is probably even better than those would have worked out.
Actor, movie,
Is that Reagan?
or character.
Keep that thought, but not for this one.
Oh my gosh.
Looks like Mr. Rogers to me. I don't know
Never felt more
Western.
inadequate.
Okay, Rockford Files. That's James Garner.
James Garner.
This is from a movie called Maverick, also starring that was Mel
Why haven't you won?
Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson. That was a Mel Gibson movie.
All right,
Oh my god.
We're moving forward. We're moving
One
forward.
of my favorite.
Oh my gosh.
So the 2 actors or the movie.
Now they have been for
Famous story,
those
true
watching and
story,
listening at
famous
home.
story.
They're like, "What's
I know
wrong with these
this.
guys? They've been drinking ridiculous AF." So
Right.
you know
I know this guy.
they're not 100% right now.
This is what Billy the Kid was all about.
It's a spaghetti western.
Nope.
No.
Neither one of you are even close. that's Paul Newman and Steve McQueen in a
Somewhere-
fictitious story about Butch Cassidy and the
Sundance
Sundance
Kid.
Butch
Kid.
Cassidy.
So I
Yeah.
watched this several times.
Somewhere a petition has started to force y'all to change the name of the
I've
brewery.
never gotten.
I've seen that movie exactly once.
And I know because they pulled out the Gatling gun.
Okay,
All right,
okay,
all right, we're
okay.
moving
Here you
on.
go. Here's
We're
the
moving
true
on.
test.
There we go. There we go. That is the Lone Ranger.
Oh my God.
All right, all
We
right.
have one.
All right, good
We
pull.
have one. We
Good
have
pull.
one.
Do we get a beer for that?
Yes,
Yes.
please. I wish we had a beer. We don't have shit.
It's okay. You didn't
Okay,
have much faith.
actors or movie. I will at this point anything. Can you tell me anything about these 2 guys?
They're smoking.
Okay. Which one of them is bald? We're gonna ask you that. That's
Damn it.
Don't look at me, man.
Yeah, you're all going to
okay.
change the name.
Gunsmoke.
That's Yul Brynner and Levon Cleave. Levon Cleave was in a lot of spaghetti westerns, but he's not anymore. Okay, spaghetti western time.
Chewbacca.
Yeah, I believe people.
It does look like Chewbacca, actually.
No.
His name is Indio, which means the Indian in Spanish.
Yeah.
Right? That's from A Few Dollars More. With Clint
Are you
Eastwood.
trying to tell me we shouldn't be called Saloon Door?
Okay, here we go.
I'm pretty. Is that?
Alexander,
There we go. There we go. No, that is President Reagan.
President Reagan. Dun 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 dun.
We will accept that or former President Reagan.
Let me make it clear that he pulled the name out of thin air.
There. Okay. Next. All right, what do we got?
Oh, here we go.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Princess Leia.
Think dancing.
Dirty
Red hair,
Dirty
red hair.
Dancing.
Think mule.
No, not Dirty Dancing.
Think
No,
mule.
never mind.
The Flying Nun.
Oh, the Flying Nun.
Close.
This is another Clint Eastwood movie. Two Mules for Sister Sarah. That's Shirley MacLaine.
Shirley MacLaine. A couple years ago.
She's hot.
Yeah. That was before she started believing that rocks were her way to life. Oh my God. One of my all-time favorite heroes right here.
Let's see his face. Here.
Yeah, I feel like I'm losing a game
Okay,
of trivia
this
pursuit.
is
Well, you're not winning.
That's true. I've got 0 pies.
0 pies.
The problem is, I'm pretty sure I wasn't alive when any of these movies came out.
That's true. You are a young lad. And he's a
I
noble
was,
lady.
I was
so-
actually
what the
I was
hell you're
actually
about.
not alive when this movie came out. This is 1970.
Well, that means none of us were.
Yeah, this is a movie called My Name Is Nobody. It's like the best gunslinger ever. This is one of my favorite movies. If you have never seen a Western you liked, watch My Name Is Nobody.
You know
it's
what?
Him and Henry
If
Fonda.
you'd have just gone with
Two
like
thumbs up from Money Mike Taylor.
classic video games, I probably would have had a better shot.
Okay,
Alright,
what about
alright.
this?
And on that note, tonight at Saloon Door is retro video game night.
It is
Yeah,
retro
yeah.
video game night.
Mario Kart, right? I think
All
that's what it
did
was.
play Atari and Nintendo.
Okay, this is
Watching
Jane
TV.
Seymour, Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman from the series Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman. Now, the show sucked, but she was hot.
All we can see is how disgusting the lights glaring on your iPad is so gross.
All right. On that note, we're gonna transition to the Galactic Coast Challenge.
Galactic Coast Challenge.
Go get the backboard.
The basketball.
Alright.
Are we playing basketball?
No, this is actually way more intense than basketball, and it's about to be
I'm sorry.
much larger, much more popular, multinational game.
We epically failed
The
that.
no, that's okay. Well, I mean, it's all good.
I got one.
You know.
Blame it on the beer.
Good job on that.
Yeah, but that's what that just tells you about the what ridiculous AF.
It just makes you stupid.
Makes you ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Oh my.
All right.
Some would argue that performance was ridiculous, but that's okay.
It was.
All right, so we're gonna play the Galactic Coast Challenge, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 options.
Okay.
We're gonna go with the elder first. You get to pick one of the 6 options, and then you get to pick what's remaining. And we don't tell you the rules of said option until you've already picked it. So we have pints and paddles, beer pong bounce, from mouth to cup, behind the back, hacky stack style, and the free throw.
Oh my gosh. So I gotta pick one of those.
Pick one of those.
Just a beer pong bounce.
Good call, good call.
I'm gonna take free throw.
Free throw, okay. Respectable.
Who's going first?
I'm always surprised how many people do from mouth to cup.
I was scared to hell.
And I'm not at all surprised that
I watched the balls today.
That just literally
Yeah,
reminded
Mike-
me of 2 girls,
Mike-
1 cup. And
Mike
I was
did
like,
watch.
no.
Mike
Okay, so you did beer pong bounce?
Say
I
Mike
did free
wash
throw.
our
He
balls.
did beer pong bounce.
Beer pong bounce. Okay,
Yeah.
beer pong bounce is.
From mouth to
You
cup
got-
scared
You
the
did
hell
free
out of me.
throw?
I did free throw.
Okay, beer pong bounce is 3 cups.
And Adam Smasher's going mobile with the camera.
Going mobile.
Awesome.
Nice.
Mobile. Here you go, sir.
Okay.
Here you go, sir.
Stand up.
Thank
I
you.
gotta stand
So
up.
beer pong bounce.
Oh, I gotta
Alright.
take these off.
Yeah, the headphones.
It's okay.
Headphones.
They weren't helping.
Right, okay.
This out of the way. You want to
Okay.
stand
Who's first?
right here behind this
Now
pole
for
here.
beer pong bounce, right? The ball has to bounce before it makes it into one of these 3 cups. And you may use the backboard. If your ball bounces and a ball makes it in and comes to rest inside the glass, you win.
Alright.
Good luck. Oh, that was close.
solid. Solid attempt. It went in 2.
Nice.
It went in 1, came out. You're done. You're advancing to the next round.
All right.
All right.
Now we have free
Only the
throw.
third person to do that.
Nice. I don't know how the hell that happened. It made up for all that lack of trivia skill.
With free throw, you have 1 cup.
You poor bastard.
And you may make the ball however
I'm not
you
sure
wish.
that's. I'm not sure that's.
wish.
However you wish. Here's your free throw line right here.
This is my free
This is
throw.
your free throw line.
Lord.
You can't get closer.
God, you got long arms. No fair.
I was about to say, look at that reach. Oh, look at that reach. You could just reach and drop it in from above.
He's got a couple balls.
There you go.
I like how I gave you the clue.
All right, that is John Ennis, free throw coach.
You got to be
Available
rewarded for your height
one-on-one
sometimes.
instructions.
Damn.
Look, you did.
Excellent
That was-
job.
that
You
was-
actually get a residual as well, where it rolled back and made it. So that's 2 times.
That was pretty impressive.
So now we have 4 people in the second phase,
That's right. So you all joined Bill Arning and Tim Gamble.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's funny. We've had astronauts, aquanauts. We've had
Appreciate it.
we've had American Ninja Warriors.
Yeah.
And it's been brewers. Only brewers have advanced.
Hey, Mike, take down the sign. It's literally blocking Sylvia's face. There you go.
Right. She's balancing out her ugly. So that's.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Good job, guys. That was excellent.
You know, I would argue y'all
I'm pretty
almost
impressed.
made up for your performance in What's That West?
Hey, I was hoping we could at
Yeah.
least make up for that.
You didn't even show them Festus.
I'll tell you what, that was terrifying.
And that was much easier than Name That Ninja that we played a couple weeks ago. we had the American Ninja Warrior on, and I did a deep dive into 15 AD stuff, and it was bad.
We asked for that. We asked for that with our name.
Right? Well, and truthfully,
I didn't
there may be a
remember.
petition right now to get y'all to change your
We
name.
need to
I don't
change
know.
it again.
I don't know. Yeah.
I am not going to sign that
Sexy Dish
petition
Brewing.
unless they offer me money.
So that's right. So there's a chance there's people at the brewery actually listening to
Yep.
the show, right?
Look, guys,
It was a full house when I left,
Full
so
house. And it's
Not-
still going on. It continues.
Not only enjoyed the beers,
All night.
but we have enjoyed the company, and thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having
Y'all are
us.
A big delight to talk to, and the beers were absolutely stunning. And then RIS is always in my heart. Those crack me deep. I mean, IPAs are a great love, and you can go West Coast or New England or Gulf Coast or whatever IPA you want, but a good RIS is always something you can put in your pocket even the deepest summer. So.
That's right. When will somebody release a GC IPA?
Oh, I've been talking about that we need to define our third coast style, our
Right,
Gulf
third
Coast,
coast.
something like that.
That's
No,
right. Galactic Gulf Coast. Galactic Coast
we need
IPA.
to unite some of the best brewers in the area and try to get some style standards down here. Maybe that's what it's going to take. I don't know.
Anything's possible. The sky's the limit.
I don't know. What is a Gulf Coast IPA? What is that?
I haven't figured it out yet.
Mud,
We're gonna make
muddy,
it.
gonna have salt in
it's got a lot of salt.
To be continued.
Hopefully it's not brown.
That's true.
Love you guys, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having us. It's been fantastic.
Space travel. Beer. Does this look infected? Beer. Boating. Did we mention there's beer? Hey, thanks for listening. We'll be back next week, we think. Thursday nights, 7 p.m. Galactic Coast Power Hour. Vinyl Draft Radio. I gotta pee.